If there were an attack on NATO's eastern flank, they would be ready and among the first to respond. Panzerbataillon 393. For 2 weeks, the soldiers train for a real-life scenario. On the most advanced battle tank currently available to the Bundeswehr, the Leopard 2A7V. I'm allowed to accompany the tank troops for 2 days to experience firsthand the impact of the war in Ukraine on our Bundeswehr. Oberlausitz training area. In less than 24 hours, live firing on the Leopard tanks will begin. This is the final and most crucial phase of the 2-week endurance test. The training is set to be as realistic as possible. One of the basics for the troops, camouflage and deception, which apply to both the tanks and the crew. The platoon leader of the 4th Company, Master Sergeant Christian, explains the upcoming military operation to the soldiers.
The presumed direction of attack is generally from the west. Identify early over elevation 135. Destroy at long combat range.
14 Leopard tanks, making up 1 company, will be deployed in the combat exercise. In total, 4 companies belong to Panzerbataillon 393, as they are part of NATO's Rapid Response Force, also known as the VJTF. Lieutenant Colonel Weissenborn is in command here.
The soldiers are self-motivated. They know the mission we have, which is to be ready to march within 5 days if NATO calls. There's no need for much more appeal. Everyone is focused, everyone is engaged in the training, and everyone wants to do their best.
A call from the NATO. For the battalion, this scenario was long distant until February 24, 2022 changed everything. Russia invades Ukraine, a war in the heart of Europe. From now on, training for an emergency has a completely different meaning. The practice is conducted with the most advanced battle tank currently owned by the Bundeswehr, the Leopard 2A7V. Weighing 67 tons, it has a range of up to 5,000 meters and a crew of 4. The crew consists of a gunner, a loader, a driver, and the tank commander. I meet Staff Sergeant Luca, 24 years old, who has been a tank commander for 4 years. What's it like to drive the most advanced battle tank the Bundeswehr has to offer? How much horsepower do you have under the seat?
We have 1,500 horsepower in this battle tank. Yes, that's quite a powerful thing, I must say. For me, it's always been a childhood dream to operate a tank and to be deployed as a commander. That's why I find this absolutely exhilarating.
But even the robust steel giant needs to visit the workshop occasionally. In the tank troops, this is known as technical maintenance.
Climb up here, walk along the old shield, and then get onto the top deck.
The Leopard is not only available as a combat model, but also as an armored recovery vehicle. It is essentially the ADAC of the troops and can tow tracked vehicles of any kind.
We are currently in the process of replacing the central computing unit for the onboard communication system, so that the driver and the commander can communicate. Without this, operating the recovery tank or the battle tank is not possible.
And while the tanks are getting their final touches in the workshop, less than 2 kilometers away, attention is given to the well-being of the troops. What's on the menu today?
Today we have a classic, pea soup. And as the saying goes, an army marches on its stomach. We try to keep the morale high with our food.
On the transport tank, I head back to the field where Luca's crew has parked and will spend the night. While the gunner and driver camouflage the tank's tracks, the gunner monitors every inch of the surroundings. The tension rises. Physical and mental stress, lots of pressure and little sleep. How do you cope with that?
Yes, of course. It's always a matter of personal perspective. Everyone sees things differently. People also handle sleep deprivation differently.
Only a few hours remain until the simulated battle. It's time to supply the tanks with ammunition. Here, she ensures everything runs smoothly. Master Sergeant Beatrice.
So, we have just supplied the battle tank with ammunition so that it can move into position and engage the enemy once identified.
So you're shooting with live ammunition?
It's not live ammunition, it's practice rounds. We don't get the live rounds right now.
But they are deadly.
Yes, these are also deadly. The commander comes up and the other one comes out.
In the meantime, the meals have been delivered. A brief 5 minutes is all that's left for dinner. Plates are cleared away, and it's time to head back to the tank, where the crew will also spend the night. The next morning, after a short night in the forest, the soldiers are ready to go. The tanks roll onto the firing range and take their positions. We observe the live firing up close. On the commander's order, the targets pop up. Fire at will. After about 4 hours, an unscheduled halt to the exercise. The reason? Forest fires. The region and the ground are extremely dry. Now we are waiting for it to continue. The situation is under control. The training can continue. About 8 hours later, the main part of the exercise is completed. Time for an interim assessment.
The battle tanks are running and functioning well. That's the huge advantage of this weapon system. Overall, we are very satisfied with the vehicle.
While the tanks are being refueled for the second part of the exercise, the night firing, I bid farewell to the troops. I am impressed by the discipline, patience, and nerve they have shown during this endurance test.